Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. I hope you can hear me and see me, that you can also see the screen. Welcome to our webinar on the postgraduate study on Nano-Satellite Technologies, PNST, the 2024 round webinar. This webinar in PNST is brought to you basically by UNOOSA, the Ministry of Education and Science in Japan, MEXT, and the Kyushu Institute of Technology. And today we will be having people from USA, people from Kyutech, and the different students from Kyutech basically explaining to you about the program itself. So welcome again. Before we begin, I just have a few rules that I just like to mention in the beginning. First of all, please use the chat box to ask any questions. Do not raise your hand. If you have any questions that need to be addressed or comments, please leave them in the chat box. And second, please answer our questionnaire before you leave. We will be putting it in the chat box. So my colleague Wenbin will be active in the chat, providing you with useful links and a link to the questionnaire. So I hope you can answer that before you leave. We are really looking forward to getting feedback on the webinars and different activities we do, and we really value it. And last but not least, if you are on social media, please use the hashtag Access to Space for All and PNST. Follow, like, and share on UNOOSA. We are active on Twitter, now called X, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram at UNOOSA. So basically today's agenda will look like this. I will start off by introducing the Access to Space for All initiative, which PNST is a part of, and also a bit about PNST. After that, I will give the floor to Mr. Tetsuhito Fuse of Kyushu Institute of Technology, and he will be giving you an introduction to the Kyushu Institute of Technology and the Space Engineering International course, SEIC. After that, we will be doing some lightning presentations by the current fellows and alumni. So we have two students that are currently in the PNST program, and then we have two students that have graduated from PNST and are doing space-related activities now. And at the end, we will have a dedicated Q&A. So all the questions that will be in the chat box, I will try to raise them and address them to the fellows and alumni of the PNST program, but also to Professor Fuse. So if you have any questions about PNST, please write them down there. So just to give you a quick overview of the Access to Space for All initiative, I don't know how many of you know this, but PNST is part of this, so I just wanted to give you a short introduction. So Access to Space for All is a program we have at the United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs, and the goal of the initiative is to provide research and orbital opportunities for UN member states to access space and ensure that the benefits of space are truly accessible to all. And you can see our core values on the left-hand side. So through the initiative, we provide opportunities to acquire cutting-edge skills for jobs and other opportunities and develop hands-on capabilities. So not just learning, but also moving your hands, actually building something, developing something. And we do this free of charge. So you get access to unique ground and space infrastructure, technology, and information. So in the case of PNST, you will have access to the facilities at Kyutech. You will have a whole learning opportunity. The third part is you get to gain international cooperation through this experience. For PNST, it's more of working with the different students in the SEIC program. You will get to learn a lot about working in Japan as well. The fourth point is the visibility. So maybe not in the case of PNST, but when we select teams for the different opportunities, we try to focus and we try to highlight the different space-related activities that country or organization is doing. So yeah, we provide visibility. And of course, to the people for PNST, we will be doing interviews and, of course, webinars like this so that people will get visibility, actually. And last but not least, all of this is done to motivate the young generation and boost interest in STEM, but also STI, so science, technology, and innovation. You can see our opportunity, you can see the numbers of the Access to Space for All initiative in the middle, and this one annual fellowship there, that's pointing to PNST. And this is done by all of our different partners that you can see on the right. So, just to give you an impact of the initiative, through all the activities that we have been doing, there is a lot of impact to the different countries and regions. I've picked up some of the presentations from the awardees. It has basically brought more exposure and engagement. It has brought new partnerships. It has brought a lot of media focus, and some of the opportunities have actually brought in big numbers. So the one in the middle, after deploying the first CubeSat of the university, that department, the mechanical engineering department at Universidad de Valle de Guatemala, the enrollment grew 176%. Yeah, we've had different universities actually build different facilities as well. So yeah, there's a lot of impact coming through the initiative. And of course, PNST, we are actually sending students to study at Kyutech. So they, of course, bring a lot of impact back to their countries when they return and yeah, do space activities back in their country. Just to show you the list of awardees, as you can see, we've covered many different countries and many different opportunities. I know you are here for PNST, but if your country, region, your organization is interested in any of the different opportunities, please have a look. So our initiative is focused on three different tracks: the hypergravity and microgravity track, satellite development track, and space exploration track. They all have different goals. For the hypergravity and microgravity track, it's really building capacity for conducting experiments in orbit. The satellite development track, where PNST is part of, is really building capacity that enables the development, deployment, and operation of satellites. And space exploration is something that goes beyond that. As you can see, we have these opportunities open for you, organized for you. We are trying to start with a gradual learning pack, starting from on-ground opportunities going up into space. And PNST is an integral part of the satellite development track because it's providing fundamental education for the whole life cycle of satellite development. So going into PNST, our partner, as I've mentioned earlier, is the Kyushu Institute of Technology with the support of the government of Japan, the ministry called MEXT. It was established in 2013, and basically we provide 3 opportunities for 3 students in the master's program and 3 students for the doctoral program, so the PhD, to enroll in Kyutech's Space Engineering International course. And there you will have years of hands-on extensive research opportunity in nanosatellite systems through the use of the nanosatellite development and experience and the testing facilities that are available at Kyutech. And the selected fellows are expected to return to their home countries upon the completion of their studies and, of course, maybe some additional work experience and contribute to space development in their countries using the experience and knowledge gained from the program. So on the right-hand side, you can see the last 5 years of which countries the selected students come from. And you can see that we have a range of different countries that we have supported through PNST. Out of the, let's say, maybe there's a lot of different programs in the world, but why would you choose PNST? So the first reason is that this is an opportunity to study in an international environment in a leading university in the field of small satellites. So as I said earlier, you will have hands-on experience, hands-on education opportunities, and you get access to all the different testing facilities that are available at Kyutech. And the second point is from 2018, Kyutech has been reported as the #1 small satellite operator and developer in the field of small satellites in academia. So you can see on the right-hand side, there's a report from Bryce Tech. This is also from this year's material, 2023. So they have an abundant amount of experience on doing satellite development. And of course, the second point about PNST is really the generous support from Japan. So the government basically pays you per month. This is in Japanese yen, but if you put it in dollars, it's around $1,000 per month for the whole duration of their fellowship to cover the housing, food, and local transportation and other expenses. So yeah, it's a great opportunity because you get some monthly allowance that would help you with your life in Japan. And then an economy class air ticket between the international airport in your country and Japan will also be provided by the government. So you basically don't have to pay for the transportation. And last but not least, the fees for basically studying at Kyutech will be borne by Kyutech. So the students, all you have to do is basically just come and study and learn, really. This is the wonderful point about PNST. Just to go through the whole process of going through our website, because sometimes it can be tricky, just look for access to space for all. PNST is under the satellite development track, as I've explained earlier, and it is under the educational components. So you would have to click on satellite development, education component, and when you get to the PNST page, basically to get to all the information, you would have to click on the place called rounds. And then the information is basically everything is here. Read this page very carefully. And if you have any questions, please ask them in this webinar. And if you have any afterwards, please address them to our email address there, which is UNOOSA Access to Space. Basically, if you go through the whole website, there are these little triangles that you click, and then there is more information. Of course, we have the information on the website under application documents, but some of them are PDFs. But if you want the Word version, or basically, to be more clear, the first step you have to do is go and register from this. You see the red circle on the screen. You have to register from here into the Kyutech website, and then you will be able to get access of the Word version. So basically, the first thing you do is go to the UNOOSA website, look at all the documents, read it, and then register to the Kyutech website from here. The schedule looks like this. So the application was opened in November this year. It was later than usual due to the approval process in the ministry, but now, yeah, we have approval, so it's open. The application will be closed on January 5th. We also know this is short notice, but all the information is there. You still have a month, so please go through the documents very carefully. Then the first round selection will be held in January, and basically the final selection will be done by March. And then after that, if you are selected, the finalization of the research and study plan will be happening after you've been selected from March until June. And then the official entrance exam to Kyutech will be held in July. And after that, the fellowship program will actually begin in October. So basically, you will be probably flying into Kyutech, flying into Japan in late September or early October. Please look at this this page here. It's the frequently asked questions. We've had many questions, so we have collected all the answers there. Please read them carefully. We do receive a lot of questions by emails, which can be answered by looking at the frequently asked questions section. So yeah, I would just ask you to really read the page carefully, and if you have any questions, reach out to us. So, with this, I'd like to give the floor now to Mr. Tetsuhito Fuse of Kyushu Institute of Technology to give you more of an overview of Kyutech and the Space Engineering International course.
Okay, thank you very much for attending today's PNST 2024 round webinar. My name is Fuse. I'm working in Kyushu Institute of Technology, and today's my talk includes what is our laboratory and our institute, and what you can get from through the PNST Kyutech, at Kyutech. Okay. Firstly, today already the UNOOSA Hazuki explained. Probably you have understand what is PNST, which is full scholarship program provided by UNOOSA and Japanese government. And also my talk includes some acronym written here, PNST and SEIC. SEIC is Space Engineering International course, which is postgraduate course offered by Kyutech, and which is master and doctoral degree course. And also, sometimes I mentioned LASANE, and also we call it space laboratory. And our laboratory focusing on space engineering, which consists of several professors' laboratory. And these three terms is important for today's my talk. Okay. Firstly, I think all of you don't know about Kyushu. my university is Kyushu Institute of Technology. Kyushu is located western southern part of Japan island, and which is a little bit far away from Tokyo. But this Kyushu area is industrial city, and my university founded around more than 100 years ago, and very focusing engineering and computer science, life science, dedicated to the engineering university. Okay, and from this background, university is very focusing on hands-on and practical education. As you can see, there are many laboratory provides hands-on training, and you can have a lot of project work and experiment in our laboratory. And also, there are several research center and units, and LASSEIN Space Laboratory is one of the center of excellence for advanced research, which Kyutech provides. And our space center, space labo, is one of the biggest opportunity in the Japanese university. Okay, as you have already known or heard, space business and space technology is very commonly used in a space development sector. And also, many of academia is targeting on advanced research using nano-satellite, small satellite. And from this background, our university established LASSEIN Space Laboratory more than 15 years ago. And our laboratory's mission is bringing diversity to the space sector and contributing to the space activities through CubeSat. Because of this philosophy, we agreed to this idea with UNOOSA and also Japanese government. And thanks to this collaboration and opportunity, we can provide PNST fellowship program. And also, please remember, after this webinar, we provide space engineering international course. Mainly, my talk is explaining about our SEIC course. Our space engineering international course is started 2013 under the support of PNST. And this research is toward master and doctoral degrees. And also we offer on-the-job training using environmental testing facilities, which I explain later. And also we have a lot of small satellite, especially CubeSat project, and you can learn project-based learning through the space project, and also all related lecture was provided in English. Okay, and there are many project work provided by Kyutech. As you can see in the right pictures, there are some environmental testing facility. Also, there are several small satellite projects is going on. This environment testing facility is called Center for Nano-Satellite Testing. This facility has a capability to do all kinds of environmental testing for satellite less than 50 centimeter and 50 kilogram, and except for radiation testing, which includes EMC vibration, thermal vacuum, shock test. Many of facilities you can use in the facility. Also, many satellite projects was going on. As Hazuki explained, we have since 2010 we have launched 27 satellites we have developed, and yeah, as you can see, we are now currently world #1 academia small satellite operator. And yeah, this is a SEIC students' nationality. As you can see, there are many nationalities coming to our laboratory. And this is a past and current SEIC student composition. Red one is current student, and blue one is already graduated student nationality. And yeah, many Latin America, Africa, Southeast Eastern Asia students coming from all over the world. And more than 159 foreign students from 64 countries in this 11 years. And after this effort, we got the Airbus Diversity Award 2017. And one of our notable program is, which is called BARS program. This program is mainly for non-space faring countries program. And mission statement is successfully building and operating their first national satellite and making them foremost step towards the indigenous space program at each nations. And there are some flags you can see. There's partner countries, and in this blue character, blue countries, we developed together with them their first national satellite, especially for 1U CubeSat. And in this picture, there is a huge diversity. You can see in that picture, students are coming from all over the world. And also we opened our bus system to the public as an open sourcing website. You can see all of our satellite bus system in the website. Okay, this is one summary. You can acquire in SEIC. You can have a hands-on training and diversity environment and space engineering professionalism, and you can do research for space technology, and also you can learn project management and system engineering skills through our project, and you can be a professional space engineering. Okay, and also there's a interview series in the website of UNOOSA. Please check it. Our alumnus on Professor Cho explained what is a Kyutech and PNST. Okay, and lastly, I explained some of FAQ. Yeah, I picked up 3 FAQ. First one is, what kind of academic background is needed to be selected for PNST candidate? And the answer is any engineering background are acceptable, but especially mechanical, electrical, and computer science and related science background is preferred. And second question, what feature does Kyutech look for an applicant other than academic background? We prioritize students, their motivation and energy to change their home country and world using space technology. And our aim for PNST and SEIC is, especially for foreign students, is building a space technology program or a space company in your home country. This is our aim for the foreign students. And lastly, we a little bit mentioned about GPS score requirement. This is a little bit tricky. That's why I picked up as this FAQ. Anyway, please check application guideline. And for the applicants, you must have earned GPA, grade point average 2.3 over 3.0. This is requirement for all applicants. And but this 2.3/3 is a little bit calculation is tricky. Please check application guideline, Japanese government scholarship, and also there are some remarking. If GPA cannot be calculated from the transcript, in this case, the above clearly states that her grade ranking at the university faculty or graduate school is within the top 30%. Makes deem that the applicant's academic achievement equivalent to a GPA of 2.3 or above. And this format is also available in the website. Please check this note in the application guideline. This is a little bit tricky requirement. That's why I picked up in a FAQ. Okay. Okay. Lastly, Japanese culture is very unique and interesting. I think for all of the world. I'm waiting for you and your application, and I think this must be a very good opportunity to come in, learn Japanese culture. Okay, that's all for my talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Fusi-san, for the presentation. I see there are a lot of questions coming in, so Fusi-san, you can also check the chat and maybe type in some answers when you have time while the students are doing their part of the presentation. So thank you, everyone. The next part is the lightning presentations by the current students and the fellows who have already graduated. So first, I'd like to start off with Merisa Kosiyakul. So Merisa is a space engineer, and she's been in the space industry with 4 years of experience. She began her career at a Thai private company developing a 1U multispectral CubeSat, and afterwards she joined the Thai government organization as a thermal engineer, and now she's studying at Kyutech for the master's degree. So yeah, Merisa, I give you the floor.
So I would like to say hello to everyone. My name is Merisa Kosiyakul from Kyushu Institute of the Technology in Japan. Now I'm a master student in Kyutech. So today I would like to share my experience in Kyutech, and also I would talk about the PNST program, also together with the coursework and the satellite project. So I would like to introduce my names again. My name is Merisa Kosiyakul. I'm from Thailand, and now I'm in the course of the space engineering international course in Kyutech, and my background is the bachelor engineer in university in Thailand, and after that I joined a private space company for 2 years. I worked there as the satellite engineer, and after that I joined the National Astronomical Research Institute of Thailand as a thermal engineer. At that time I experienced making the simulation of the thermal simulation of the microsatellite for the Institute of Thailand. So for the PNST, how do I know PNST? So firstly, I feel like in the space sector, I would like to know more about the satellite. I would like to learn more about how to test, how to achieve the satellite system. So I was looking for Kyutech in my first list of this university that I want to join, and at that time I was about to enter Kyutech by directly, but luckily I know one of my senior friends that he was studying in Kyutech at that time. he recommended me to you should apply to PNST, is the scholarship for non-Japanese students. So at that time, I put a lot of effort to making the document and also making my presentation, and I put my passion on the my presentation when I have the interview with the other professor, and finally I got admitted as a candidate of the PNST in 2022. So yeah, after I entered the Kyutech, I learned a lot of subjects. I registered to many of the engineerings and also the Japanese language class. And one of my favorite subject is the advanced space dynamic. At that time, I remember that the professor asked the student in classroom to take a photo of the lunar eclipse, and we were so excited. We went to the rooftop of the building and we wait for many hours to wait for the lunar eclipse at that time. So yeah, what was a great opportunity to see once in the eyes and also take the picture to show to the friends in the class. And another subject that I love is the space environmental testing workshop. In that class, we can experience the vibration testing and also the thermal vacuum testing, like in the real chamber, in the real machine. So we also, I mean, me and my classmates was enjoy the subject so much. So yeah, I would like to recommend you guys to come to Kyutech to experience these classes and also, yeah, meet many friends from here. And apart from the coursework, we also have the satellite project. My project that I joined is called BirdX Satellite Project. So in our team, we have people from many countries. For example, in the picture, you can see Japanese, Vietnamese, also Mexican and Sri Lankan guys that come from, and there are more people from other country. So we have different background. So we took we have experienced many problem, and also we had also fun. We hang out sometimes, and we really build a team's work. And then apart from the hangout thing, we also have the hands-on experience on the satellite. As you can see, our BirdX is blue satellite, is not green like before. So yeah, we enjoy doing the project. And actually today we just had the CDR for our project. And during the project, we also experienced the testing facility in the Center of Nano-Satellite Testing. We perform the thermal vacuum test, we perform the vibration shock test, and also we also use the economic chamber test, as Sang mentioned in the beginning. And apart from that, our team, most of the team is able to get the amateur radio license, so everyone can operate the satellite. And apart from the studying and the project, I also enjoy the environment in Japan and also Kyutech. As you can see that the autumn in Kyushu is so stunning, and the spring is so nice. I would like you guys to see the real cherry blossom in Japan. Is all along the street is like full of the sakura like this. And this is my favorite part. Actually, you can see the location of the Kyutech from the map that Fuse-san showed to you. But I would like to say that the Kyutech is actually near to the fish market. So we can take a train and go to the Mojiko station, and then we can enjoy the fresh raw fish or shrimp, and all the seafoods is so good. And we can enjoy the Mojiko town in Kyushu also. And apart from Kyutech that we live, we can also go to some festival. For example, the Saga Balloon Festival in the Saga Prefecture, and also on your right hand side is the Aso Mountain that I have been to maybe last month recently. The view there is so stunning. Yeah, so I would like to give you some tip for the PNST interview. So I for me myself, I put a lot of effort in the document that submit to Kyutech and that submit to PNST program, and I also put my passion and motivation, what I can give to Kyutech and what I want from Kyutech. So yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marisa, for the presentation. I'd like to move on to our second speaker, who is Ezra Fielding. So he is a second-year master's student at Kyutech, and he specializes in electrical and space systems engineering. He is originally from Cape Town, South Africa, and he completed his bachelor's degree in computer science at the University of Western Cape. So yeah, Ezra, I'll give you the floor now. Please go ahead.
Everyone, my name is Ezra Fielding. As introduced, I'm a second-year Master of Electrical and Space Systems Engineering student at Kyutech under Hanazawa Lab. So let me just give you a little bit of my background and a bit of an introduction. I'm 24 years old. I'm originally from Cape Town, South Africa, and my academic background is slightly interesting compared to what I'm doing now. So I didn't actually come from an engineering background. I came from a computer science background originally, completing a BSc in computer science in 2020, and then a Bachelor of Science honors in computer science in 2021. And for that, I did a project involved with machine learning and applied that to astronomy. It's only when I got to Kyutech that I actually shifted over to the engineering side of things with electrical and space systems engineering at Kyutech under PNST. My two passions which are important for this presentation are one, computers, specifically artificial intelligence and machine learning, and secondly, space. I just think space is really, really cool. So when I got to the end of my bachelor's, I wanted to figure out how do I combine the two. And around about near the end, we got an email sent out on our university email, just listing a whole bunch of different opportunities. And one of those opportunities that was listed was the PNST opportunity. I looked at it. I thought, this is very interesting, but I'm not an engineer, but let me put in an application anyway. So going through the application process, putting in an application anyway. And now I'm here speaking to you from Japan. So I'm very blessed and thankful for that. Coming to Kyutech, you'll get enrolled in the SEIC program. Fuse-san did a great job explaining what that entails in general. But if I had to put it into my own words, the SEIC program simply gives you the context required to work on space engineering projects. We do a lot of practical hands-on experience here at Kyutech. So your classes will ultimately allow you to actually do those things. And what's very interesting and what you need to keep in mind is that it's going to be a very wide area of knowledge. Coming from computer science and having to do plasma physics is a bit of a jump, but thanks to the lecturers and also just the way the course is set up, where it's more to give you the information, you'll make it through it no problem. Some highlights of the course, some hands-on training at Kyutech's testing facilities. They actually allow you to touch the machines, which is absolutely amazing. And of course, there's advanced space dynamics, vision and image recognition, which is given by my supervisor, so I highly recommend that, and advanced embedded systems. And of course, there's many other courses which I haven't mentioned, but like I said, all of that gives you a really good context for working in actual space projects. So let me just get some application advice out of the way right now. So just a few points here. The first one is show how your background and experience will enable you to complete the course and participate in Kyutech's projects. So this one I feel like was very important for me, coming from a computer science background. Being adjacent to the space systems engineering, I needed to show that, hey, I know how to learn. My knowledge that I have learned can be used in this way in Kyutech. So I think that's really helpful. Another point is show, don't tell your passion. It's one thing saying I am passionate. It's another thing talking about space, talking about how you want to contribute to the industry, and through that showing your passion. And then also communicate your hopes and intentions simply and clearly. You don't have to write a lot. You have to write quality. You don't need pages and pages of abstracts and of explaining what you're going to do, but you need to have quality in that. So just keep that in mind when putting your documentation together. At Kyutech, for masters, we're required to do a thesis. So this is a culmination of all the work that you're doing. This is attached to your supervisor. So just touching very briefly for my thesis research, which I'm doing under Hanazawa Sensei at Kyutech, I am looking to use natural language processing to prioritize which images we downlink from our satellites. So in space, it's very difficult getting information down. There's no plugging in a flash drive quickly and plugging it into your computer. We're doing it over radio communications, and space is hard. So getting data from space is actually quite difficult. So in order to do that, we take so many pictures, we need to figure out which pictures are the most useful to our little scientist on the ground here. So using a variety of machine learning and natural language processing techniques, I want to characterize an image and characterize a text description, which gets sent to the satellite by the scientist. And then we would use those characteristics of the image and of the text description to search for the images which we actually want from our satellite and prioritize the downlink of that on the ground. How well this works, whether this works, I have another 9 months to get this working, so please wish me luck on that. But that is how I'm using my computer science background with machine learning and artificial intelligence on satellites here at Kyutech. And then, of course, like Merisa mentioned, we do actual real-life satellite projects. So while she was part of the BirdsX project, I am part of the Vertex project, which is the Visible Extragalactic Background Radiation Exploration by CubeSat. In a nutshell, it's a 6U astronomical nanosatellite. So we take pictures of space designed to reveal star formation history by observing visible extragalactic background light. So we're a fairly big project. At last count, I think we were about 60 people working on this project. I've been tasked with designing this board you see over here, which is the camera control board. It's designed to interface with this telescope and actually get us the images so that we can downlink it. So this just runs a Raspberry Pi 4, and I've had to learn how to do PCB design for the first time here at Kyutech. But thanks to the support of my peers and seniors, that's a goal. We just had the board delivered. You can see this is where the board sits in the satellite. So we actually have actual real hands-on designing of the satellite, designing of these components, which will validate, test, and fly to space. Then finally, life in Japan. I've thoroughly enjoyed my time at Kyutech, and I will continue to enjoy my time at Kyutech. Life in Japan is an adventure. It's vibrant, and the people here are absolutely amazing. I swear, Kyutech is probably one of the most diverse environments in all of Japan. I go to lunch and I'm talking to people from different European nations, people from South America, people from the Caribbean, and other Japanese colleagues and peers. So you can see here is a nice picture of when we went to Miyazaki Prefecture. And even in this group, there's people from all over the world. And we also, this group in the top right-hand corner, this is a picture of me and my lab at a sports day, which one of my lab members organized for the Space Systems Department. And my sensei over here and my other lab mates, It's a great environment. And even though there's only 3 international students in my lab specifically, everyone is so warm. And I want to say we meet each other halfway with the language, but their English is significantly better than my Japanese. So they meet me a bit closer to where I'm at. What's also great is because of the language courses that get offered at Kyutech, I get to practice my Japanese on them and hopefully improve in that. And then, of course, there's the nature, there's the history, and there's just so many things to do with so many people. It's actually difficult to be alone. So coming to Japan, you're not just going to be locked in your room. I mean, you could do that, but why would you do that when you have such amazing lab mates and colleagues and peers? And it's just really a great time. And with that, that concludes my presentation. I hope I didn't go too fast. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Ezra, for sharing your experience and also your life in Japan. I'd like to move on to our next speaker, who is actually already graduated from the program, but then he will have more insights as well. So with this, I'd like to invite to the floor Maisun Ibn Monowar. So Maisun is Bangladeshi, and he is an electrical and electronics engineer who graduated from BRAC University of Bangladesh. And then after that, he completed his Master of Science and PhD degree from Kyutech through the PNST program. So yeah, with this, I'd like to give Maisun the floor. Please go ahead.
Everyone, my name is Maisun. As Madam already mentioned, I graduated in 2021 from Kyutech. And I thought today's presentation, I would put a lot of pictures instead of putting boring information so that it will be fun to follow along, and maybe you'll get a rough idea how your life might be when you're in Japan. So to introduce myself, my name is Maisun Ibn Monowar. I graduated from Bangladesh, and I completed my master's and PhD from Kyutech under the PNST program. And currently I'm working at a Japanese space startup company. So in my undergraduate university, we had a lot of club activities. I spent most of my free time over there. And what we did was we participated in a lot of competitions together, and we used to share our knowledge within our peers. And one of those activities was to organize different kind of seminars, inviting lecturers from different fields and getting to know them. And in one of the seminars, the speaker was Dr. Khan, who was then a faculty member at Kyutech. He came to Bangladesh and he introduced Nano-Satellites and what he was doing at Kyutech. So after the seminar, he was touring our lab, and after he saw what we're doing, he said that you guys should apply to Kyutech and come here so that you get a rough idea, because what you're using right now is very similar to what we use in our Japanese lab. So I got very curious and I applied for an internship program, not the PNST program, an internship program. And I came to Japan in 2014 with my friend Kafi. So we spent about 4 months joining the Hoda 4 project as an intern and also attending various classes that Kyutech was offering at that time. And although we barely scratched the surface of Nano-Satellite technology, we decided that we wanted to continue. And I also decided to apply for the PNST program at that time. So I applied for PNST program and went back to my country. And after submitting my final year thesis and graduated in 2015, and then in 2015 October, I came back to Japan under the PNST scholarship program. And my friend Kafi also joined me. And we also had a third friend with us, who is Antara, a CLTP graduate. If you're interested in studying space CubeSats, you might also look into it, the CLTP program. So what I was imagining that master's course would be just studying books and taking the exams and being done with it, but I was very, very wrong. And there was a surprise waiting for us. So in 2015, there were 3 students from Bangladesh, 3 from Ghana, 2 from Nigeria, and 3 other students from Mongolia. And Professor Cho came with a wonderful idea to put these people together in a project and create the first satellite for the respective country. So what we did, we had to discuss within ourselves that what kind of satellite we wanted to build. And just not the discussion. We had to build the prototype and show that our concept was actually feasible. We built the system, we tested it by ourselves, and in 2017, our hard work paid off. We were able to manufacture 5 identical satellites and launch it into space with the help onboard SpaceX. And because it was the first satellite for our country, it actually got featured on the front page of our national newspaper. Also, several other Japanese newspapers. And I decided to continue my journey. I decided to apply for the to extend my PNST scholarship and go into the PhD program. And this time I was alone, but with my other friends from different other countries. Unfortunately, I do not have a lot of pictures from that period. It was mostly research, and I graduated in 2021 March, in between the pandemic. So my PhD thesis included how we can effectively maintain software in orbit for CubeSats, because once you launch a CubeSat, it's very hard to maintain or upgrade a software. I want to go a little off topic here, because everyone is giving you the tips to how to ace the interview. I want to say that, okay, once you have aced the interview, I want to leave you with some tips to live in Japan. So if you're coming to Japan, I would say the Japanese skills are not necessary because the SEIC courses are mostly in English. But I would highly recommend you to study Japanese in your free time because it will enable you to interact with the people in the society and you'll have a much better experience. Then I had a tendency of Googling every problem I came across, but I would highly encourage you to share your confusions, share your doubts, ask your peers, seniors, and openly discuss your problems. You'll find that it's much easier and faster that way. Also, when I came to Japan, I bought a bunch of expensive stuff, which I eventually did not need. But I would say that there are some cheap, affordable markets nearby. So you don't have to buy everything, just buy yourself a pair of nice suits. Maybe that would be enough. So moving on, after graduation, I joined a Tokyo-based startup company. The name is Skygate Technologies. The mission of Skygate Technology was to provide ground station as a service to other satellite operators. So when we're operating satellites, one of the main cost or one of the most expensive part is to build yourself a ground station. So Skygate Technologies was offering to rent out their ground station. So I was in charge of writing the code for the software-defined radio. We had an API which was platform agnostic. And in 2022, so last year, I decided to join another space startup here in Kyushu, very close to our campus. The name is IQPS. The goal of this company is to observe the Earth almost anywhere within 10 minutes. So if a customer demands an image from us, we want to deliver it within 10 minutes. That's our goal. And we are hoping to build ourselves a constellation of satellites consisting of 36 satellites. And the images we produce are not actually color images because these are radar images. They're mostly black and white. And what is exactly SAR? SAR images. SAR is a short form for synthetic aperture radar. The technology was invented in 1950s, but we did not really have the tools to make it a commercial product. So only recently it's possible to launch satellites with a low enough cost so that we can offer the service to our customers. I will not be able to explain in details that how this technology works or what it is. So I recommend you to watch this video by Scott Manley. He explains this idea much easier than I can. One thing I'm very proud of is that in IQPS, we have 6 graduates from Kyutech, and among that 6, 5 of us, we have already worked together before. So in this photo, I'm standing at the back in the middle, and in front of me, Fukuda-san, Dima-san, and Tanaka-san, we were all working in the Hori 4 project. So they were working in the Hori 4 project, and I was an intern at the Hori 4 project. And Asari-san, he was working on a different student-based satellite, but we shared the same building, so we knew each other from before. And I used to bother them with my academic questions, my general questions for Japan life. And I'm very lucky that I get to work with these people every day today. And one more interesting thing is that the photo on the left, the guy you see with the white shirt is actually is my current boss. So he's the CEO of IQPS. Onishi-san was a student of Kyushu University, and Kyushu University and Kyushu Institute of Technology, they had a research collaboration. So Onishi-san would often come to Kyutech to do various tests and other collaborative projects. So what exactly that I do in IQPS? In order to explain that, I want to have a very brief explanation on how satellite communication works. So the satellite sends the radio signal to the ground station, where we have a big antenna connected to some radio equipments, connected to some TNCs. And those data gets processed by a computer and with the help of an operator. Once we do the processing, we get the data. But you can imagine, since we are building 36 satellites, it will be very, very hard for a human operator to keep up. You will not be able to take rest. You will not be able to go home. So what my job is to automate those processes so that it is easier for the human operator to operate the satellite. So it's a very big system, so multiple of my colleagues are working on the same system, but I particularly look after the downlink portion of the operations. So that's my current job at IQPS. Now, before ending my presentation, I would like to leave with 5 points why I think that you should be applying for PNST program. So number one is the people around you. So the people you meet on the campus and your seniors, your peers, they will be a very valuable asset in the future. And yeah, I think Fude-san and my previous presenters have already mentioned that nowhere else they allow you to actually touch the satellites by yourself. And Kyutech is very exceptional in this regard, is that you actually get to experiment with it, and actually you get to build the satellite you actually launch into the space. Number three is the people outside of the campus. Kyutech is situated in Tobata. The people of Tobata are very nice, and they have a very rich culture. So I highly recommend it. And I really like the Japanese weather. It's a very nice, not too hot, not too cold. So it's perfect for me. Number 5 and final is that our testing equipments are second only to JAXA. So even last year I was at Kyutech in the campus testing satellites for IQPS. So it's a great opportunity. So thank you everyone. Sorry I took 1 minute of extra time. With this I would like to finish my presentation.
Thank you very much, Maisun, for the presentation and really providing the points that you really push for PNST and for life in Japan. Thank you very much. I'd like to move on to our last speaker now is Hoda Awny. She is an engineer in the Satellite Communication and Navigation Department at the Egyptian Space Agency, and she has worked on some satellite projects both in Egypt and Japan. She graduated from Kyutech with a master's degree through the PNST program, and she has a bachelor's in the Electronics and Communication Engineering from a university in Egypt. Yeah, please go ahead, Hoda. I see that your screen is already shared.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Hoda Awny. I'm a PNST alumni since 2020 when I graduated with a master's degree from Kyushu Institute of Technology under the supervision of Professor Mengocho. So during this presentation, I will briefly go through what I was doing before PNST, talk a little bit about the application process for PNST, share some memories from Japan, and conclude with what I'm currently doing in my home country. First, let me start with what I was doing before applying for PNST. I was born and raised in Cairo, Egypt. Egypt is a country in Northeast Africa, linking Africa with the Middle East region. Egypt is most famous for the ancient Egyptian history and its splendid beaches. We speak Arabic, and just saying, we have a very nice cuisine. So as for my background, I have a bachelor degree in electronics and communication engineering. I had a chance to work among an amazing team in my final year in my bachelor degree in a project that was related to CUBE satellites. It was called Egyptian University Satellite, where I got also to meet this gentleman here, Dr. Yahya, who is actually also a PNST alumni. He was our mentor and supervisor during this project. And after graduation, I worked only for 1 year as a teaching assistant in my university. During this time, Dr. Yahya first introduced me to PNST and encouraged me to apply. So I started reading a bit about Kyutech and PNST during the application process. Then I discovered that Kyutech is world's #1 university launching small satellites into space, also having a nano-satellite testing center and ground station to operate these satellites after launching them. So during the application process, you get to take a moment and think about your motivation and purpose. Dream big about your future. How do you plan to participate in your home country space program? Probably discover the current capacity of your country in the space field, universities, research organizations, and initiatives. How your background matches the program and the space projects. What research activity projects do you propose supporting one or more of the United Nations SDGs? I hope each and every one of you will take some time thinking about these questions and enjoy the application process. Now I'll share some memories from my journey, starting from September 2018, taking off from Cairo and landing in Fukuoka while in Japan. During the 2 years, I had the chance to work in 3 different satellite projects in different development and operation phases. 2 of them were related to my research, which were Kitsune and Spatium-1, and also Birds 4 project, which is a project that you get to participate in through a project-based learning course in our laboratory. Working in a satellite project is an amazing opportunity. Building things that really goes to space is really phenomenal, and you get to experience this in Kyutech. Here in these pictures, I can remember some great engineers who worked really hard to build their country's first satellite, including Philippines and Paraguay for Birds 4. I really had the honor to work with them and learn a lot from them. Through SEIC, we get to study different courses. The most interesting ones for me are orbital mechanics, space weather, space system engineering, satellite communication, and space law and policy, which was a little bit far from my background. My research was focused on scientific study of Earth's ionosphere using small satellites. The 2 years were really exceptional, starting from the orientation day until the graduation ceremony. I shared a lot of memories with students from many different countries around the world. And here's another interesting stop with exploring the Japanese culture. Japan really has a very unique culture and very beautiful nature, and of course, delicious food. Coming to the last part of my presentation after returning to Egypt. Since 2020, right after coming back from Kyutech in Japan back to Egypt, I have been working at the Egyptian Space Agency, the Satellite Communication and Navigation Department, first as a communication engineer, and since July of this year, I have started a new position as a communication system design engineer. I have also been active as an SGAC member, Space Generation Advisory Council, since 2019. Actually, I was first introduced to this community from a colleague back in Kyutech. And I also joined some Moon Village Association activities since 2020, and I got the position of a national coordinator since 2021. And still, I'm working towards the vision of having a space-related career in my country. I'd like to conclude with some lessons that I have learned during this journey. First, grab each and every opportunity to learn. In Kyutech, there is a huge potential to learn and grow. Make a lot of friends and memories. They remain for a lifetime. Study Japanese. Start right away. Don't wait for arrive to Japan. It will make your life much easier and would make it more fun. And most importantly, work hard. Keep motivated and learn from your mistakes. Thank you all for taking the time to attend this webinar. Thank you, UNOOSA and Kyutech, for this opportunity, and most importantly, for changing my life. Happy to hear all of your questions and connect through email or through LinkedIn. Back to you, Marisa.
Thank you very much, Hoda, for the presentation. Yeah, I just want to add to Hoda, the network you build at Kyutech through PNST is amazing. And I know everyone is connected. When they have conferences, they see each other and go to dinners. I'm aware of that. So there is a strong connection with all the people that you will meet there. So yeah, that's another great feature of PNST. So now I'd like to move on to the Q&A. If I can ask all the speakers to kindly turn on their cameras so that we can see your faces. But I just want to mention a few things because we're getting a lot of questions about eligibility. So for eligibility, basically you have to read the documents on the website, but for the countries that are eligible, I would just like to summarize that there is no, let's say, specific term for a spacefaring nation, but what we mean is that if your country has the capacity to access space on their own, so if they have a launcher, if they have that capacity to, take satellites on their own into space, then you're not eligible. You should have plenty of opportunities in your country. The countries we are targeting are developing countries or countries you may have one satellite, but then that may be it. So countries that need our support to get access to space. And then we have different backgrounds. Fuse-san explained it earlier. Of course, you are going into an engineering course. So if you don't have backgrounds of engineering, then as Ezra was explaining, you really have to be able to explain your passion, explain what your understanding is, because in the end, you're going to go to a course to build a satellite. So of course you can study other things, but if we cannot see the connection, if we don't see the understanding that you can do it, you will have low chances. So we're not saying no, but we're just saying, please show us that you can do it. You can, go through the 2 or 3 years, because it won't make sense if we choose someone that can't go through this course. And for the age, this is a hard criteria. There's a specific date. You have to be under 35 years old. So I think that's very clear. But please have a look at the website. Everything is clear there. I just want to give the floor to Fuse-san. Maybe explain about the entrance exam just a bit. I know you answered in the Q&A, but maybe you can add some information about that. And if there's any other thing you would like to additionally explain, please go ahead. So I'll give the floor to you, Fuse-san.
Okay. Okay. Let me explain about the entrance exam. Someone asked about the entrance exam, and yeah, actually, at Kyutech postgraduate course, entrance exam is not a big issue for applicants, especially for PNST candidates. And after passing PNST selection and the interview, you will have an official entrance exam, which is required only for interview. And yeah, if you can pass a normal Q&A conversation, it will be not big problem. So don't worry about entrance exam. Please focusing on preparing application documents for PNST.
Okay, thank you for the clear answer. And to all of you here, this is your timing to really engage with the students that have gone through the program. So if you have any specific questions, especially to the 4 students and alumni, please refer to it now. This will be a great timing. So my question to all 4 of you that have gone through the PNST program, maybe you can give us an example of, let's say, not to scare off anyone, but what was the hardest part of PNST? And what was your, let's say, the best outcome of PNST? I know some of you have explained it, but maybe you can just bring the hardest part and one of the best parts of PNST. So maybe I can start with Hoda.
Okay, let me start with the best part first. The good things comes first. So I really enjoyed the friends that I made there, the time that I spent there. I have a lot of memories that I come back with, and a lot of people whom I'm still in contact with. I have the chance actually to meet Maisun-san here. He was my senpai during the 2 years I was there. One exceptional thing also is working in the satellite projects. Not everywhere in the world you get a chance to touch things that really goes to space and learn about the whole process of building a satellite, starting from the mission idea that you want to achieve up to the operation and getting the results of what you have worked for. So it's hard work. It's a lot of effort. Sometimes you get to spend nights in the lab. Sometimes you get to probably have some disagreement or argument about a point or something, but at the end we all have the same objective of making this satellite work in space and see the output of our work. So it's hard journey, but it's a very nice and exceptional one, and you get to enjoy both parts of it.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. I'd like to ask the same question to Maisun. So what is the hardest part of PNST, but also what is the best part of PNST?
Right. So for the hardest part, I would say that because the SEIC course is a system engineering course, you get to study the entire system as a whole. And for someone who just studied electrical engineering, it's really hard in the beginning, because in the beginning I'm trying to study a lot of things and I do not understand a lot of things. So it takes a while to get used to the curriculum and to understand what is a payload, what is the bus systems. So that was very hard for me. That's why I said that talk to your seniors, talk to your peers. If you just have a conversation, it becomes much more easier. And the best part for me is that I would say that because Kyutech is one of the largest satellite operator, and we go to a lot of conferences. So even when you're a student, you get to meet a lot of people. And when you graduate, when you're entering the career world, you already know a lot of people. So when I read a new paper, or when I hear a new declaration from some new companies, I already know the people behind it. So it's not really a surprise. So I already have kind of familiarity with those people. So that's the best thing I think that Kyutech has given me.
Thank you very much. The same question to Ezra. The hardest, but also the best part of PNST?
So from the get-go, I must say that PNST is probably one of the most difficult things I've done in my life, but it's also been one of the most rewarding things. From the one hand, moving to Japan, the language barrier is what got to me. It hurt sometimes not being able to communicate fully or properly. But as far as the work is concerned, I almost feel like it would be the hours and the hard work you wouldn't see. So it's sometimes developing a satellite is not as glamorous as what you hope it would be, with epic interviews and space everywhere. Sometimes it's long hours in a lab, and you're doing your best. But it's at the end of the day, it's one of those things that you enjoy in hindsight, but I can tell you in the moment it sucks a bit. As for the highlight and the top part, I must say it's been the people. It's very corny to say the friends we made along the way, but honestly, that holds very true. Just in your Japanese colleagues and peers, your other international colleagues and peers, the network you build is just really amazing. And then, of course, as well, we get to touch real hardware. If there's a vibration machine and there needs to be a vibration test done, we get to touch it and actually do stuff with it. You get to touch the PCBs. You get to put the things together. So that, I think, is the highlight.
Thank you very much. Yeah, the same question to Merisa.
Yes, so the best part of PNST program, I would say, like, I am able to join in many things that I want to learn. Like, for example, many subsystem that I think is interesting. Like, oh, this one look interesting, I should join, and I can just go to ask like some senior or some other colleagues or some other project that, oh, how is this working or something like that, and they can explain to me like so clear. And yeah, I think I got many experience and many knowledge from the friend in here and also the senior in here also. But the hard things are also time flies so fast. The thing that I want to learn, I cannot learn everything. Like, I need to, how to say, manage that. Okay, this one first and that one later. But in the end of the day, I feel so regret that I didn't join like a lot of the thing that I think is interesting. So yeah, so I recommend you to when we come to Kyutech, we should how to say, prioritize what you want to learn first, and then later you just like make it like combine, and you will have a also the happy life in Japan, and also you will learn many things in Japan and in Kyutech. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All the speakers made it clear. Satellite development is, of course, amazing, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of hours. So, and especially some of you may know Japan has a very, let's say, strong work ethic culture. So that may be something that people who are applying might want to understand, that there will be a lot of work, and not only the work for the project, but for you to study, get prepared, and also even the Japanese language. Of course, as Maisun explained, the courses are in English, so there is no need for you to learn Japanese for the satellite development itself. But yeah, to experience the culture, to gain the most out of PNST, Japanese might be something that you want to study. So yeah, there's all these things I know, but yeah, thank you for the advice. And the next question is, so for the two students that are doing PNST now, what is your aspirations after you are done with the current course? How do you want to step up? How do you want to help your country do satellite development? So maybe I'll talk to Ezra first.
Sure. So my dream from the beginning was I want to see South Africa on the map globally for space engineering and sending things to space, and hopefully eventually sending people to space. So I'm here holding that dream very near to me. In terms of immediate plans, though, I would very much like to continue on for PhD, where I'm not entirely sure yet. But basically, building as much experience, gaining as much knowledge as I can, so that once I end up back in South Africa, I can contribute and help champion perhaps different projects, and using my knowledge and imparting that to the next generation. But as of right now, in typical student fashion, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's okay.
Thank you very much. Yeah, the same question to Merisa. What are your future aspirations, and what do you plan to do when you go back to your country?
Yes. So I have planned with my friend from Thailand that when I go back to Thailand, I plan to make a like a small school, but like not in the center, not in the capital city of Thailand, because we want to distribute the, how to say, the access, the approachable of the space technology. We would like to, like, how to say, teach the student in rural area about the space, how to create the make the satellite, how can you make the satellite system or something like that. So I think if we have the strong how to say system of the school, we can distribute to other other town also. But I think I would like to start from my hometown first. Yes.
Thank you very much. I want to ask a similar question to Maisun. So now you've graduated, now you're gaining experience in Japan. What are your future steps, and what are your aspirations for Bangladesh, your country, and the space development there?
Right. So right after graduation, I could not really see myself as okay. Let me rewind a little bit. So one thing was actually clear, that I wanted to stay involved in kind of an R&D activities, and the only way to do that is either become a professor in some university or join R&D focused institutions. And I graduated in the peak of the COVID. So for me, the only choice was to stay in Japan and to gain more experience before going back to Bangladesh. And right now, when I have worked here for the last 2 years, I think I'm going to continue for a few more years before I actually go back to Bangladesh and do something. But even though I'm not a student anymore, but the future is still not clear. It's a bit hazy, because when you're talking about space development, there's not a lot you can do by yourself. Maybe you can start a company, yes, but without a true government support, it's very hard to move forward. And right now, I'm kind of observing the situation, how it goes. As I already showed the pictures, two of my friends are already in Bangladesh and working there as a faculty member. I'm in close touch with them, and I try to help anyone from Bangladesh as much as I can. If they have a question in space and if they have some project in mind, I try to help them as much as possible. But for future, what exactly will I do is not yet clear.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I think no one has their life clear, but yeah, thank you for explaining, the next steps and what you have in mind. I'd like to ask the same question to Hoda. So now you're back at the Egyptian Space Agency. What are your aspirations? But also maybe can you explain how PNST was useful in the work you do right now at the Egyptian Space Agency?
Yes, sure. Yeah, actually, after graduating, I started working directly for the Egyptian Space Agency. It's like more than 3 years now. I think what I've learned in Kyutech was a great privilege for me during working in the space agency, because I get to experience the whole life cycle of developing even a small satellite during my stay in Japan during the 2 years. Now we are working probably on a different scale of satellites because it's like a national agency. But whatever I have learned there, the techniques, the way of developing a satellite, the process that you're going through, the system engineering principles apply to even to bigger satellites. So even also the network that we developed during being in Kyutech. I'm still in contact with my colleagues in Kyutech. I use also the chances to communicate probably with the previous staff and my professor, if possible, for different activities that we are participating in or taking place. Even if you go to a conference, I try to catch up with your alumni or previous colleagues. Being in Kyutech is a remarkable stage of your life. You get to come across the benefits of this phase of your life and the people you have met across your space career, I would say. There have been a lot that happened during the last 3 years, and I'm looking forward to more.
Okay, thank you very much. With this, I think all of you participants were able to see the benefits of PNST, not just us, the program organizers at UNOOSA and Kyutech explaining it, but the real live experience from the students and the fellows that have actually gone through it. So I hope that was helpful for you. Thank you very much to the 4 speakers. There may be some people who have more questions to the 4 speakers. So if you're okay with it, maybe you can share your email address, or if you are on LinkedIn, maybe you can share your profile there in the chat so that some people can access to you guys directly. But if that's okay with you. If not, of course, UNOOSA, we have our address, UNOOSA access to space at un.org. So please, if you have any questions about the whole process, please send an email and we will consult with Kyutech and of course reply to you. So with this, it's time. I think we've gone through all the different questions. So thank you very much, everyone, for engaging. I hope this was helpful for you. And you still have 1 more month to fill in the application form. As was explained, it's not only about the things that you already have, but it's also about the passion, what you intend to learn, how you're going to link it with your background, what you already know, your culture, your country. So there's a lot of aspects that you need to think about. But yeah, I know it's Christmas season and I know it's a busy season, but you still have time. So please consider, take a good look at the website, and we look forward to receiving a lot of applications for PNST 2024. So with this, thank you very much. This is being recorded, as I said, so if you have any friends or colleagues who missed out, please tell them to come visit our website in a few days. I will try to put up the recording soon so that you will all have access. Okay, then thank you very much. Have a nice day, everyone. And please apply, and we look forward to connecting with you soon. Thank you, everyone. Bye.